real with you guys. Transplant is one of the most frustrating processes about this. Like, if you were just cool with just staying on dialysis for the rest of your life, even if there was an option, like, they would be fine with it. Like, every transplant coordinator that I have interacted with has showed little to no concern about whether or not I actually achieve this. When I speak to them, it comes off very transactional, right? Like, they don't talk to me like I'm a living, breathing person, Carl Porter, like, man with like aspirations and dreams and feelings, and they don't really care. They don't really seem to care all that much, especially with the two coordinators I'm dealing with. Like, they are the least compassionate. They're the most incompassionate two coordinators I've ever interacted with. And they try to spin this narrative that, oh, well, they throw all these obstacles in your way because they want to make sure that you're the perfect candidate. But I think that's BS, because, like, there's plenty of patients that get kidneys and go right back to doing the same thing that they were doing before, which led them down the road of kidney disease in the first place. Like, even though they do psych evaluations and medical examinations, like, you can't predict intent, right? You give somebody a transplant and you hope that they have enough sense to not, like, trash the kidney and be good to the kidney. But transplant can't determine that. So what they do is, even though, you've been ready for years and you've never really had any, like, major permanent, like, health scares or anything like that would disqualify you, they still say that you're not good enough. They still say that there are things that you got to do and this and that. And meanwhile, you're losing time. And then they give you this crap about, oh, well, you're still accruing time. You're still accruing time, but it doesn't matter if you're not eligible for a transplant. If they're not willing to give you a transplant, it doesn't matter how much time you're amassing. It's unfortunate, but this is the process. This is the only way that you can get a transplant, is dealing with a transplant coordinator. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to coach you on what to say and what to do, because you do everything you're supposed to do and they'll still, deny you for some reason. You got to find out what best works for you as far as, like, interaction with transplant coordinators. I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that are going to say that their transplant coordinator is great and they've been so helpful and pushing you to do better and blah, 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 blah. But if you've been doing good for years, then there's really nothing they can tell you. They just need to just clear you to give you the transplant. And if there's any transplant coordinators watching this video right now, we are not numbers in an algorithm. We are not a name on a file in your drawer. We are not just another thing that you have to do on your itinerary. We are living, breathing people. We bleed. We feel sadness and despair and happiness, and we have aspirations and dreams. And unfortunately, a lot of the transplant coordinators that I've dealt with felt like they don't need to respect that.